Good evening, everyone. I am Sensei Kevlar. Let's look at this fantastic market this evening. I'm going to open with Burst tonight against BTC, and right away I'm noticing a really pretty significant resistance line right up against here that we burst through, came up, did our nice little head and shoulders setup, and then failed to set up the other shoulder right here. I guess this is sort of a shruggy shoulder off of this guy right here. Pretty poor setup for that pattern. This guy came back down. We had definitely some scheduled allocation at this line right here. See the scheduled allocation that occurred? And then as soon as the scheduled allocation occurred and we were done with our scheduled allocation, we'll look at these scheduled allocations all the way down. And then finally, we hit our next level down. So why is that the next level down? Let's go find out. Why did our whale say that he wanted that level down? If we just put our line and say, what is that? Well, there it is right there. This is the previous support line coming off of here that this whale was looking at and scheduling his allocation off of. So can we get a return back to here and give us a really nice buy signal off of a bump right here? Sure. What is that opportunity for us? What opportunity is the downside? Well, it's a 50% downside opportunity. That's an easy one to get into and then get a nice lift on that. What's the lift on that? Well, even just a 10% lift is a really easy motion on this. What a fantastic market to be in. Look at these little itty bitty things coming up off of here. Let's say that you started out here because you knew it was going to do a turnaround. You got in, you got out, you were hoping for a turnaround, but then it didn't happen. Well, what if you tripled up here? Even if you just doubled up here, you could still be profitable on this leg and all of this leg of the journey. Hit your target right here if you wanted to. Real easy. This is an easy one to schedule for, and I absolutely would look for this downside in a big way and schedule for that and look for different points around here that we might do a turnaround on, maybe around the halfway mark or coming off of these lines right here. I definitely say find some nice opportunities to create for yourself in this motion right here, but be very aware of the downside potential all the way down here and all the way down to 0 satoshis. Let's find our 0 line. It's right there, right above the 6. I mean, so that would really be our last sort of ditch effort on that one, is right at the 6 line. And that's sort of where we open initially. We didn't have a lot of interest in this coin initially, and then we went through this cycle. So I would absolutely 100% expect a return to the 6 before we see any real motion like this again, these types of opportunities, or at the very least the 64, before looking for a really big opportunity on that side. In the meantime, build your trophies. Get your opportunity, create your opportunities on these motions right here, coming down off of here, coming down back into these areas right here, and make sure that you are creating the most opportunities for yourself on these types of things. Next up is ETHUSD. Sure, we'll go with Coinbase. Well, if we're not setting up for an opportunity on this one, then I don't know. Oh, it already happened. Look at that. How about that? There was our opportunity. Now, where did that opportunity get scheduled from? It got scheduled off of this right here, this bounce right here, this bounce right here, this bounce right here, this bounce right here. Whoever is doing the scheduling likes this line a lot. They drew it on their chart one time, and then they never took it off again. And so you better believe that when they drew it, when it comes back down to here, well, guess where we're at? At this point, whatever whale has been doing all of this motion right here, well, he's built up a whole lot of profit on this opportunity right here. He's built up a whole lot of allocation on this opportunity right here. Okay, so going ahead and just buying the market up really quick in order to create this lift for himself, well, it'll create some nice positive momentum, and then we'll be able to get the scheduled distribution across this whole opportunity right here before coming back down. I really like markets like this because they're really easy to predict. You can absolutely see what the whale's intent are. Every single time that the thing comes down, it respects this line against their schedule. And that's all there is to that. Make sure that you begin your scheduling, though, by looking at the full downside for this opportunity, and make sure that you create this opportunity for yourself in a careful way, that you're not getting into more of more than like a 70-30 if you're doing an n-way split on this one. Make sure that you're not, you're allocating for this whole downside on your other side of this. If you're using Bitcoin, if you're using dollars in this case, which is what we're looking at in this case, make sure that you're paying attention to where you can go all the way down here at $16, because this is where you need to be doing your buy-ins, is right here, and right here, which is 1, 2, 3. It's a very easy one to schedule for, and we can create lots of upside opportunity for ourselves. Right there, and right there. And then we're off to the races. Just make sure that you look out for this and then go one lower after that in your scheduling, because you don't want to get caught in a position where that happens to you. And especially on a motion like this, I really don't think we've completed our full motion down right here. I think we are probably going to see some sort of, return to this norm right here. So let's see what that would look like. Yep. Come right down in here, give us a nice bounce right here, see this kind of thing right here before we take off again maybe. I would absolutely look for that opportunity for myself while looking for this opportunity as well, very carefully against the size of my portfolio. LTC BTC is next. Well, look at that RSI on that guy. What a beautiful opportunity that was. If we came down, and we've been looking at this opportunity right here, and then we got up right here, and we knew that we bounced off of this because previously we bounced off of this in our nice little parabolic swan dive right there. Really beautiful parabolic. It's just swan dived right into this amplification mode right here until we do it again, get this nice swan dive. You better believe that we can get a nice amplification mode as soon as we get down into some doldrums right here. Maybe we'll get a nice bounce off of here, come down onto this side. Look for this downside. Look for it very carefully. Expect it, and expect more downside, because I'm looking at the Bitstamp, and you're going to need to schedule for more downside on this opportunity. However, if you were scheduling correctly and you were looking at this opportunity right here and you were saying, okay, buy 1 position, could I go to here and buy 4 positions and then have it come down on me and then get me out on that? Yeah, absolutely. That'd be really easy to do. So the next thing that you want to look out for is you want to look out for the long fall down and get in again here when we see the bounce off of this line right here, and then potentially more after that, but I don't have it on this chart because I'm looking at Bitstamp. Moving along. Bitcoin US dollar tether. The granddaddy of scheduling, the Mac daddy of I know where this is going to bounce because it always does it at exactly the same places. You just put this Fibonacci up and then you leave it up and you never take it down again, and you schedule for every time the color changes. Here's an opportunity right here. Here's an opportunity right here. Here's an opportunity right here. Look at how much profit you could have made. If you were up here and then you panicked when this thing started happening, you didn't get out your wallet and buy right here, and buy right here, and buy right here, well, how are you going to be selling right here? Look at this. Okay, where can we go next from here? Well, I think the obvious thing that we can do from this point here is probably do one of these, which is the return to the norm. This is where we were before, and this is where we can probably go again to. I'd very much advise you to be looking to schedule right here, right here, right here, and right here. This is just common sense. This is where the market's going to go. Now, what's our downside opportunity on that schedule? Well, the next 1.618 is the retracement on that is actually the 0 mark. So we need to come in and we need to find some more historicals. Let's take a look at that right there. That's the 878 mark. What about I know 1200 was historically a good mark. Here's a 1350 in which we did a nice bounce. And this one right here, we can absolutely see that getting respected there, there, and there. Well, there's our downside opportunity on that, all the way down to 0. If you're here in the market and you just entered a 50-50, like in the 3,500 range, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scheduled down, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 schedules up just to move in this range right here. This would be a 70-30. This would be a 30-70 against the dollar. These are really easy opportunities to take advantage of if you're fearless. And in these markets, you do have to be fearless. You do have to say, look, I don't care that it's going down against the dollar. I've got my dollars. What I care about is my bitcoins. And as these bitcoins become cheaper, I want to be buying cheaper bitcoins so that as my bitcoins that I bought cheaper here become profitable, I can sell them here. And that's the way of the trader. DGD, BTC. I think I just bought this myself. No, not this one. I might have. Not saying that you should. I'm just saying it's an interesting opportunity in terms of the downside. We have all of this right here. I'd say that's 3 levels of schedule against... I'm looking at the wrong thing. What am I doing? I'm looking at the wrong thing. DGD BTC. Really? That's what you want? Is the Digix AO? Okay. I think somebody's trolling there. We've got sort of a middle ground opportunity there. I thought this thing was destroyed, if I'm not mistaken, but you guys will have to tell me differently after the episode. We're definitely in a market middle, is what I can tell you, and we have a lot of historicals on this, but I think we've definitely entered a sideways channel, and within that sideways channel, we're definitely doing a lot of allocation. We could see a lot of upside potential on this, but I would look for this downside, and I don't think there's a lot of interest in this. I think this is sort of like one of those things that got blown off and doesn't really exist much anymore. Let's look at Neo. Come on, man. Neo. Everybody gets all banana shape about Neo. They get so excited, and then they get so upset. It's so funny to watch. Neo, BTC. There we go. There's my Neo. Now, for the fearless soldiers who were sitting here and working in this channel right here while the bullets whizzed over their head in China, I mean, this is real trader skill right here. You want to sit here and be profitable in this zone right here and trade this 10% zone when you know that these markets do 50% drops? You're a trooper, is what you are. And what I can tell you about troopers is you should probably be wearing a helmet, and it should probably be a Kevlar helmet, which is why I'm Sensei Kevlar, is I take risks like that, and I come out ahead because I schedule my whole downside, the whole thing, all the way down to here, all the way down to 0. That's the only way that you will ever survive working in a trench like this one, is if you've got itty-bitty position sizes and you are super disciplined about scheduling this whole downside against the rest of your opportunities and the rest of your portfolio. And if you do that, well, here's your opportunity right there. There's the one you were working on. You're sitting here working on this ditch, forexing this ditch right here that you were stuck in. You could have gotten your 5% lift off of that. Well, here we are sitting at 18% lift off of Neo. Do I really want to work in a mine like this? No. I think this is a bit ridiculous, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that you can buy this and hold it and, make your stake on gas, but am I trying to schedule the whole downside on a huge position right here? There's no way. You're fooling yourself. If you're emotionally attached to this, get over it, is all I can tell you. OMG, I kind of skipped over. All right, guys. I don't know what else to tell you, except that this is a Head and Shoulders setup. And if you know your Head and Shoulders, then you should know that this is a perfect opportunity to get out of this market before it comes crashing down on you. If you are holding your trophies still, now is a good time to think about selling them. You are at the top of the market. Get rid of your trophies. Buy all your trophies back down here at the bottom of the market. Please, this is not something that you want to be messing around with, right? Is you've got this setting up right here, coming down. Let me do that again. You've got this setting up right here, coming down and making a new lower low onto the head. We've got this sort of almost symmetrical thing going on right here with the right shoulder. We got a little bounce off of this line, but look at what happens as soon as this completion. This is a classic 5 drives. You have 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that was a broken pattern right there. 1, 2, 3. You could sort of count 5, but this is a broken pattern right here. When you get 5 drives, you want 5 higher highs followed by 5 higher lows, and this is a breakdown pattern right here, because what we did is we got a new lower low instead of a higher low. We should have gotten the nice bounce off of this line right here, off of this one, in order to form the completion of this. We didn't. This market is breaking down. We're not seeing what we want to see. Caution advised. Sell your trophies if you haven't already, and get out and ride the market down, all the way down to here, all the way down to this line. And then where's our 0 line? Where can we go with this in our portfolio? There's one more level of buying that you need to be able to do if you get to this point, and it's here. Make sure that you schedule for 0, because these markets do go away, and you better be in 1% of your portfolio when you get to this point, because if you want to be able to walk away from something like this, it better be 1%. It better not be 50%. You better think about that well ahead of time. Let's move along. XAUR, BTC. I've never done this one before. Well, this is a new market for me. I'm kind of excited about this. This is back in October. We were looking at this. We're looking at this now on a 6-hour chart, and the market has very clearly bottomed out on us. So let's see what technical analysis we can perform here. Let's start with finding our support line, obviously. What about our resistance line? Yes, yes, yes. There's our upside opportunity right there. Pretty obvious. Can we get a lift off of here? We certainly can. But in a downward market like this, can we get a drop down to 0? Absolutely. Be very careful of markets like this. These are markets that may not ever recover. They may not ever do this again. You need to be prepared that this thing is going to go like this on you, and then you're never going to see your money again. It's just going to disappear from the market. The coin is going to crash. The blockchain is going to go away, and that will be that. And I'm sorry, but that's how these markets are played. And if you want to walk the way of the trader, you need to make sure that you are keeping yourself on the path even when the market goes to 0. And NXT, BTC. Well, kind of hard to go wrong on this one, isn't it? I mean, look at our bottom. Look at our downside opportunities. Not a lot of downside. Whole lot of upside. Going all the way back. I'd take that. I just walk on out of that one. That one goes on until 2018, just walking on down. I'd love to be one right here at 460 satoshis, with a whole upside potential on 460 satoshis. You better believe that other whales are looking at this and going, I want my 1300%. This is what everybody wants. These are the opportunities that you can create for yourself if you are very careful. This is like a 0.5% allocation down here at the bottom, because then you can do that to 200 coins and walk away from this one and still make your money on all the other markets. ADX. I think that's what you meant before. Oh yes, I like ADX and I like the upside potential on it, and I like what it's doing for me in terms of every time I buy it, and I do mean every time. I mean, I bought it right here and it gave it to me right here, and I mean I bought it right here and it gave it to me right here, and I was projecting that it could have done one of these, or it could have done one of these. Either way, I was going to be profitable, and guess what? I was profitable, just like that, over and over again. So what's the downside potential on this one that I'm scheduled for? Well, it's this big nasty drop all the way down to my zero line right here. You see I've scheduled for zero on this one in my planning to make sure that I don't lose my portfolio when this goes away. But my upside potential on this one is I've sat here and I've made trophies on ADDX all day long, and I'm absolutely getting ready for this winter sleep and going into December and finding this upside potential again on ADX. I love it. QTUM. Well, I didn't even have to tell you on this one. I told you if you bought this line, you'd be fine. I told you the other day that, if we were here and we scheduled our opportunity for ourselves right here, then we would be quite all right if we had scheduled for down here, is what I said at the time. Well, guess what? We came down here. We created that opportunity on the schedule right there. Absolutely on the schedule, according to this line right here. Came up, and what was previously resistance going up became support right here, where we bounced off the line. Now what are we doing? We bounced off of this line again. Can we enter a sideways channel right here and move in this motion right here? Maybe break on down to this sideways channel right here for a while? Enter a winter sleep? Absolutely. Do you want to be holding trophies this whole time, coming way on down here and collecting trophies forever? You bet you do. Because as soon as this thing finally does moonshot in 2018 or 2019, or even November or October if I get lucky, I would love that to happen. I would love for it to be November and December and January and February and March and April. I'd love for it to go sideways. And you're all thinking, no, I want it to go up right now. No, you don't. You want it to sit here and move in this channel right here. Why? Because you can pivot around this 15% right here. You can get 7% on this side and 7% on that side. You double up here, you buy it here and buy it here and double up here, sell it off here and double it up again, sell it off here and double up again. This is such an easy thing to do. You do you do a dust trade and two dust trades, a dust trade and two dust trades. Well, you're just making money all day long. And then eventually you've got all these trophies. It's so obvious that this just comes right up here And then, wow, you know, we've got so much upside potential. What is our upside potential? Well, there's 95%. We can go on till dawn. We can go on till 120% up here. But only if you create this downside potential. If you use this downside potential to create these opportunities for yourself, you absolutely have to um, you have to ride this out. You have to be involved. You have to be ready for this long sleep. You have to be ready for this downside. Schedule yourself all the way across these different Fibonacci levels right here on the projection, because you absolutely will get a lot of um, a lot of lift off of them. I can't do gas, I don't think. BTC. I can do gas. Okay. Oh, it just got added. I have to reboot Hippo. Hello. What can I tell you about gas? I can tell you the following. Go buy one position. Next. CVC, PTC. Also got added to Poloniex. Let's take a look at BTC on Bittrex, Civics. Really need to go reboot Hippo. All right, now look, this is another easy cheesy, lemon squeezy. You bring it on down to here, find out where your zero line is that you need to schedule for. It's a lot of downside, I gotta say. Be careful on this one. But let's say we just get a nice little bounce off of here, like I said we would in previous episodes. Well, look at where we got the nice little bounce off of. Look, if you're not looking at these lines and going, oh look, every time Sensei says it's going to come down to this line, it comes down right before that line and then it goes back up. Where do you put your buy order? If Sensei says put your buy order right here, you put your buy order right here. Right here. And then if everybody puts their buy order right here, well, what happens then? The market goes up. This is how that works. This is what we're doing, is we're sitting here creating these opportunities for ourselves on these downside markets by looking at what the whales are going to do, and they're going to push the market up again, and all we're doing is following those opportunities, creating them for ourselves. I believe that brings us to the end of our schedule, but I do want to let you know that I have so enjoyed doing these charting sessions on the regular every night. I really think a lot of you have shown a lot of dedication in showing up every night and bringing your charts. I would like to continue to do them. In fact, I think I'm just going to continue to do them indefinitely. And I hope that you will continue to join me each and every night. And I hope you will subscribe to my channel and like the video, because I really would like to see you next time on the Way of the Trader, when we plan the trade and we trade the plan. Thank you very much.